this happening here. CupCake certainly deserves to be here, and as we see both players building that pylon right there touching their main nexus, just to make sure that when they build those first additional buildings, they have some protection if a proxy gate does sneak in.
Yeah, and it's good you mention the proxy gate, because in this matchup, proxy gates are so common, because it's to be quite frank, a very strong build in PvP. You can hide the gateways almost anywhere. Sometimes you'll even see them hidden inside the main base, and then it basically comes down to 2-gate zealot versus 1-gate zealot trying to get out your stalkers, and it can be very dicey for the defending player here. We do see the gas going down at about the exact same time here, and of course this is a 2-player map, so both players are going to know exactly where each other is spawning. That's why those probes are going to scout out and find each other almost immediately. But Sean, in games you've seen of Elfi, any kind of predictions on what kind of playstyle he's going to have here?
Yeah, in the opening stage, there's two things I want to note from both players. Elfi, in terms of predictions, almost certainly will be favoring, I guess I would call it the post-cybernetics core tech, favoring either some sort of robo play or blink. Generally does not build Phoenix in this matchup, though he absolutely loves doing it in PvZ. But what's very interesting about Elfi is how aggressive he is before the warp gate. I would not be surprised at all to see some extra chrono boosts on his Zealot or his Stalker and an early rush, especially since he's seen that second assimilator right there from CupCake. And of course on CupCake's end we do see that first Zealot popping out, but with that second gas geyser going down, there is no chance that CupCake can afford a second gateway anytime soon. So this is certainly going to be an excellent, clear read that Elfi can grab.
I really like what Elfi is doing here as well, trying to harass with that first probe, but also keeping it alive. He knows he needs to wait to see our probes actually transferred in this gas, and not only that, and almost more importantly, did that get canceled or not, because that's going to tell you a lot as to what the Protoss are doing. And right now the Stalker is almost done, so that probe is going to skirt on out of there, and right now you can see CupCake does have just 2 probes on the gas right there, going to be having a razor-thin timing. You can see him dropping down his robotics right now.
Wow, that's so well-timed.
Exactly, and looking up at Elfi's base, he decides to go for the 4-gate here. Sean, how do you think this is going to play out against the 1-gate robo?
Elfi is known to throw in a 4-gate every now and again like this. His essential logic is, you know, players are starting to just get their 4-gates crushed so often that people are starting to just not expect a 4-gate to happen ever. And in tournament matches, Elfi almost always throws in one of these, though he does tend to favor some of that other tech. It's all going to come down to CupCake's timing on sentry number 2. It's going to be a lot more important than sentry number 1. And of course, a big thing that's going to help CupCake is that if you see at the top of his ramp, he does have that pylon there to block off and get any vision, and there's a very nice snag. This is exactly what you want to do in CupCake's position. He's going to shut down that first set of units very quickly, but you're noting already that warp gate is very close to done, and CupCake doesn't have any way to answer this.
All right, he does drop the pylon on the high ground and try and get the warp in. Can he actually get it off? No! He does have vision on the high ground, and it does look like 2 pylons are established here, but all of a sudden this 4-gate has lost its momentum. Where's that second sentry? We don't see it from CupCake, but his Immortal is nearly done. He can kite these Zealots all day. The problem is that if the Zealots actually begin to attack the probe line, they can just focus them down and absorb a lot of that damage. However, range units versus no range units, that means Elfi is going to have to micro here brilliantly. He does decide to engage at the northern side. The warp gate just out
more Zealots.
It does look like more warp-ins here as well.
This is going to be a very difficult situation for CupCake. He has a slightly later warp-in, and Elfi sees the robo-tech. He's going to be producing only Zealots. There's 2 Zealots now morphing in for CupCake. Elfi, with a Stalkerless 4-gate play, will be able to get in 3 full warp-ins of 4 Zealots because he's not building any expensive units. There is warp-in round number 3, and we are already seeing CupCake take massive hits to his worker line. With the rate that we're seeing Elfi morph in, the good game